And we're live. I guess we've been live for about 5 minutes, but we are live. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today we are going to be unboxing the Voron Switchwire. And if you didn't see over on Discord as well as on Twitter, there has been quite a bit of network difficulties this morning. I woke up and just noticed that things weren't loading very quickly on my browser. And so I checked my upload and download speeds. Is that inappropriate maker with the 420? Thank you so much, man. I know you're excited. I am excited too. Yeah, I've had network issues all morning, and I was on the phone for half an hour freaking out up until like 45 minutes ago, and they didn't solve anything, but it seems like the internet's working, so fingers crossed at least holds out for today's stream. What else? Before we get into anything, I did want to give a huge shout out to Fabreeko. Fabreeko and LDO sponsored this build for us to be able to do on this channel and stream. So huge thank you to them. If you're interested in the Switchwire kit, links are in the description. And they're awesome. Fabreeko, if you don't know who they are, they're based out of the United States, and they have a ton of Voron kits and all sorts of extruders and hot end mods and printers. So definitely go check them out and say hello. So today we are going to be, well, first let me see what's going on with chat, everybody. Thomas is here. Hey, Dutch is here. What's up, man? Lap, Malcolm, Bardicus, Alien, Inappropriate. I know he's excited for this. Lisa, G Funny. There's a lot of people here. Carl's here. Chikaro's here. What's going on? So the game plan for today is we are going to be unboxing this. I got the 3D printed camera jib completed, as you can see here. So we will be able to use this for cool shots. I'm using it for an secondary overhead shoulder, so that way it's like we're unboxing it together. But this thing's super cool. I still have to figure out sort of how for different streams I will be positioning it, but I have a full video coming on this on the ModBot channel this Saturday. Gee, funny. 40 ounce fun, happy Wednesday. Thank you so much, G Funny. Also, anybody that was here last Wednesday, we did our first ever giveaway for it was this engraving of a Voron tile that we did, and Chikaro was our first winner, and I got that shipped out last week. But the issue we ran into was we haven't done a giveaway. I haven't done a giveaway in a long time, and so organizing it was a little bit complicated on stream, but G Funny put together a Google Doc. So for future giveaways, I'll basically just be posting that doc. Anyone can click on it and enter their info, and then we'll be able to spin the wheel. And I did get confirmation just yesterday that we are on for 3 of the diamond coated nozzles, and Thomas is doing a part of the giveaway with the silicone socks, and we also have Wham Bam is doing a $50 gift card, which is sick. So that'll be at 1,000 subscribers on this channel, which I'm thinking maybe in the next month or so, depending on how things go. So that's super exciting. Is there any other formal things that we need to do? Let's see. I don't think so. I think that's it. I did want to say though, so as most of you know that have watched the streams regularly, also let me know if anything goes wrong with the stream quality. Anyone that's here regularly that kind of knows what the stream quality looks like, if it drops heavily, please let me know, because I don't want to stream if we get the half of a megabit per second upload speeds I was seeing this morning. But yeah, anyone that watches the stream normally knows that there's music playing, and this was actually something that I got from Nero, was having an AirPod in, because it really helps you get in the zone and I can hear the music that you guys are hearing, and it's really awkward streaming in complete silence. And so yesterday when I was preparing for the stream, I realized I couldn't find my AirPods, and we had just gone to the gym on Sunday for the first time in like forever, and I brought them, and I never bring them. And so I panicked and was like, no, I left them at the gym. I checked my phone, that was the last place that they were connected. So I searched everywhere, checked with the app for the Find My, went to the gym, looked around the gym, asked them. They had one set in their safe that they found, they weren't mine. So I went and got another pair of AirPods in preparation for today's stream, and was like, well, I need music in my ear. And then I got home last night and was freaking cleaning everything out, and I found them. They were under a book that they should not have been under. So I'm happy that I found them. I'm like, great, I've got a backup now, which is at least cool if we have a crazy long stream, I suppose. But yeah, so very quality arm hair, thank you. Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and crack into it. So I did open the box just to get a photo for the thumbnail because I felt that the inside was a little bit more exciting than the outside of the box, but I haven't gone through anything at all yet. We have made some serious progress on the printed parts. I've reprinted basically all of them, and the only things left are the skirts, which we're working on right now. It'll definitely be done. We're gonna start the first episode of the actual build next Wednesday. I was gonna do it Friday, but I wanna give myself until next Wednesday to kind of get everything organized and finish the printed parts. So everything else is done. The thing I didn't realize initially, which I should have, is that the core parts will print on the Voron 0.1, but things like skirts, things like these little mounting plates, or the screen for one example, but the little mounting plates, they don't fit on the V0. So I have been printing some on the Prusa Mini and some of them on the MK3S Plus in an enclosure. And so it's been just like a team effort to get all these printed, but that is something to note that, again, you could print out the core parts and sort of like have the electronics off to the side while you are building your switch wire and then print the rest of the parts on there, but the V0 won't let you print all of the skirts and things like that. So I wasn't aware initially of that. Yeah, Alien, I figured as much. I was like, well, now I've got, you know, a backup in case, and you know, I use them every single Wednesday at least, so it's not the end of the world. I'm just glad I at least found them because I lose things all the time, but I don't permanently lose them. I just lose them in my own mess, so I should have known that they were probably around, but in the moment I was just panicking, like, I need this, I gotta get everything set up. And then I did print out another hardware organizer. I don't know if it's the same count as far as hardware sockets that you need. This was designed for the V0, but I'm gonna be printing out all the drawers as well. This is PETG, and it was printed, I guess the lighting, this is a little bit of glue stick because this was printed on the Creality Ender 3 S1, and the build surface on it sticks way too well to PETG. So I put some glue stick down, but it was not for adhesion. It was actually to act as a layer to allow me to peel it off. So it turned out pretty good. It's 0.3 layer height, so a little bit thicker than I normally would. I'm just realizing the lights aren't hitting it all that well. But yeah, I'm hoping to get all the hardware organized to make the stream build a little bit easier. All right, I think enough talking. Let me go ahead and let's get this opened up. How's everybody else's week going? Yeah, I actually threw, so if anyone saw my review of the iFast, which is a large heated printer, for some reason, the profile on that with ABS, I was having issues with it. So the Prusa Mini is inside of that printer. I'm using that larger printer as an enclosure. All right, let me move, let's see, let me move this over here so I can see chat. And I'm probably gonna have to put things way off to the side. So inside, this is also a very large, heavy box. This is, I'm sure, all the panels and maybe the bed. We'll cut this open. Just hit the top of the print it forward queue. Oh, nice. Hey, that's awesome, Chris. I didn't realize that you were gonna be building one. When you do the print it forward, do you have any sort of, excuse me, do you have any sort of choice in what color you get? Or is it just kind of like whatever the person that's printing has, you know, that's what you get? I know a bit about it, but I don't know details really as far as like what sort of decisions you have, or if it's just, again, you know, hey, someone's willing to print these parts out and, oh no. That was weird. Camera cut out for a second. I think it was, I don't know. I gotta be careful with how hard I guess I'm hitting this table. Yes, you can get what they have, or if you want to buy them. Oh, sick. Okay. Oh, nice, Jamie. You got your Mini. I remember that it was delayed a couple of times. So, question for everybody too, because this is the better camera than the overhead. But does this camera better, or do you want this one, which is dead overhead? This is just the webcam, so it's definitely not as clear. Let me know what you prefer, because I want, you know, whatever is gonna be nicest for everybody. There's a lot of wrapping, which is nice to see, because this is definitely one of the more fragile aspects of it, the acrylic. There are standard colors and the person printing gives you a menu. That's so cool. Yeah, I think that's really weird. So we switched over to a PCI card and I'm wondering if something tugged on the cable that tugged on the PCI card. I like I said, I knew this morning, I was like, it's one of those days. There's so much happening that there's definitely going to be some issues. I'm sure of it. This is a better camera. Okay, cool. We'll keep this then. There's a lot of wrapping. Okay. So we have got the panels, which I believe it's, no, these are acrylic or ACM? I think they're acrylic. Look like black acrylic panels. I'm not gonna unwrap, I'm definitely not gonna unwrap them since we have a ways before we actually slap these panels on, and I know myself they will get scratched. So let's put these off to the side. Cover stuff on my desk. We've got clear acrylic, which I'm assuming is probably for the front door. Some more black acrylic, which looks like it's the cover for the base. Let's see, there's, what, out of curiosity, Chris, what's the price point? Like, is it basically just pay for filament slash time slash electricity, or like, how does that work? Because like I said, again, I know that it's a program for people that either don't have another printer or can't successfully print some of the parts out, but I just don't know all the details. This must be actually the front door. I'm really excited that, because the Switchwire, I've seen people build the Switchwire and not have it enclosed, which I guess is fine, but being that it's a Voron and they're known to be able... Oh, Lisa, with $20 tip. Thank you so much, Lisa. Food for you and for the puppies. Well, one or the other. Thank you so much. I saw you ask earlier too. Delilah is doing a lot better. We went yesterday and she finished her first bag of that prescription dog food, which is so expensive. But we got her one more bag because the vet wanted her to be on it for at least 30 days. So we did get that. But yeah, she's doing way better, and we have a follow-up appointment not this Friday, but I think next Friday. And as long as everything's good there, we're just going to be transitioning her to not the prescription food because it's too expensive. We can't keep her on that forever. But like a sensitive stomach food, and hope that that does a better job. Thank you very much, Lisa. How are things going with you, Lisa? I haven't seen since the last update on. I think last time you said that there was an issue with the electronics housing on the Prusa Bear that you were doing, and I think that was the last update I saw. Okay, so those are all the panels. There is a ton of panels. I'm trying to think. There's front doors, cover for the bottom, maybe front and back, side doors. Let me see here. If we go, oh wow, okay. Let me see here. So there's actually quite a bit. Can you guys see this? I think you can. Yeah. So there's two front door panels, then there is side panel, then top panel, and it looks like, I think this is black acrylic. Maybe it's not, maybe it's, let me see, frame, linear panels, clear acrylic. Yeah, it is all acrylic, so black acrylic. So then there's black acrylic. There's a lot more pieces to this than, well, I guess the Voron Zero top hat does take up 5 pieces in itself. But yeah, I thought the bed was gonna be in here, but man, the acrylic in itself is a lot of weight, which I'm sure the acrylic in itself probably adds a pretty good chunk to the cost of the kit, because acrylic in general is just freaking expensive. Like I saw someone, I think it was Alien, you were talking about acrylic prices in the Discord the other day, I believe. Or maybe it was Lisa, and you said you'd want with printed solid for $50, but acrylic in general is just not cheap. It's pretty expensive. Let's see. Let's see. Installing add-on cards with hot glue. I thought that I installed the screw to bolt it into the case, but I might have to double check that. Inappropriate. We just started, Daniel, so it's not too far into it. I really want to just buy a LDO 0.1 kit while I'm continuing to self-source. You can never have too many. They go good together. For this one, we're doing a black frame and black core parts with the It's fusion filament, and this is the green. So the green pops, but everything else is kind of sleek. So completely different than the other builds we've done where it had green frame and purple frame and was kind of a little bit more flashy. This is gonna be a little bit sleeker, but the green should look really cool. And I was told by at least 2 people now that it's UV reactant. So I don't know. I know that this comes with, I believe it comes with LEDs, but I'm thinking that installing some like UV light bars could be kind of cool as well. Damn, I feel like I can build this printer in my sleep now. I love this. Oh, that's right, JP, you love this printer. I have 13, oh my God. Wow, yeah, we've only got 2, and like, she's a lab pit, and we weighed her, we went to the vet 2 weeks ago, and she's 90 pounds. So she's not a small dog, and the small bag of dog food is, the prescription stuff is like $50, and it lasted us 8 days, and I'm like, that's just not sustainable long term. It's definitely not cheap. Oh, sick. Okay, so JP is saying so UV reactive, which is awesome. The y-axis parts of printing. Zara has trained me to see how bad the prints were. I calibrated a printer and so waiting on print. Okay, cool. Yeah, Xeron's ABS parts are looking really good. That being said, I will say though that the Prusa profile for ABS in itself does a really good job. I printed out a skirt panel that I was having issues with on another printer, and it did a really good job with no, oh, I might have slightly tweaked settings, but pretty much no setting tweaks. Okay, let's grab the next thing. So this is our controller, which is SKR Mini A3 version 2, which I believe is the exact same thing that was in the Voron Zero. I kind of wish it was the new 3, but I don't even know if they're that available. They can be bought in bulk, and I'm sure that would also come at a premium, but this has been a reliable board to me. It's what's in both of the Voron Zeros I have, and it's in 1 or 2 of the Enders that I have, so no complaints there. It's at least a pretty good board. Andrew Rogers, $20 for the doggo diet. Thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate it, man. I will say, so I've been giving her, so we're getting down, I know we always do like kind of side talks, but we're getting down on, I don't think this has my address on it, so I'm not gonna show it. But her prescription pills, they gave me 3 that I have to give her like twice a day. And it's funny, so she started off where it was not a big deal. And every time I've had to give them to her, she gets more stubborn and more stubborn and more stubborn. And now when she hears the pill bottle, she goes to the other room. And when I go to her, she just clenches her teeth and she won't open them. And so we've started with cheese because she loves cheese, and I can kind of like smush the pill into like, you know, we're talking like Kraft Singles type cheese. And we've switched over to peanut butter, and it kind of works. The peanut butter seems to be a little bit easier at hiding the pill. But our other dog, Monkey, every time I'm gonna give her medicine, he's just waiting because he gets the leftover peanut butter. He's stoked. He's like, I like that she takes her medicine. Okay, let's check out power supply. Power supply is, see how close I can go with this. Sick, this is nice. So it's a Meanwhile 24 volt, 350 watt. Pretty nice. It is set to 230. I'm gonna switch that before I forget during the stream. All right, now it's set correctly. So make sure you switch that. I think Xeront is the one that always reminds me. I never usually forget, but there's something about being on live stream that like at least half of my brain is like looking at chat and figuring out other things. So I think there was one time where I nearly forgot on stream, but luckily here in the States, the worst that would happen is a really underpowered printer, while in other places, if you got a 120 on a 240 or 115 on a 240, you would fry things. So I should probably get pill pockets, man. I used to work at PetSmart, so I know exactly what they are. Little things with like treats where you just shove the pill in the center and it hides them. I should probably do that. You won't notice a difference between the V2 and V3. Yeah, I think it's more of oh wow, you didn't get a ducky? That's like their mascot. The V3 just looks freaking cool, and I haven't gotten one in. I don't think performance-wise, again, like you said, I'll notice any difference at all, but it just looks like a gaming motherboard, which is cool. And I kind of just wanted to see one in person, but yeah, performance-wise, I'm sure it'll be identical. So we've got a little Voron LDO Switchwire card, which has, I guess I was wrong, not QR, but links to their documentation. I need to remember this because when I built the Voron 0.1, they have you follow the official Voron guide, but they also have like a supplemental guide that goes along with it. And that has some additional things you need to do for wiring and a couple other parts. So that is something I need to remember, which I will this time, but the first time I was wiring things in, and it was mostly positioning of like the Raspberry Pi and the main board. You wanted to do it a little bit differently, so that way you can put in the oh, what's it called? Why I never used them before. Somebody that was here for the Voron Zero stream, it's basically the wire channel, right? Is what it's called, the white wire channels, because I didn't use that on the self-sourced Voron Zero. You don't get the ducky in the LDO kit because of, wow, that's interesting. Hey, Eggy's here. V3 is cool, but the Pico is way more impressive. Yeah, Pico looks rad. Pico looks super, super cool. I need to get those in just to play around with them. My dog just steals the oh my gosh. Yeah, when we get the ducks, I usually squeeze them and then the dogs freak out and then I get rid of them because I'm scared that they'll choke on them. They're really small compared to our dogs. Cool, this is cool too, and realistically, if you get this, it's not a bad idea to just, before you start building, go through and check everything off of this list. I know that I'm sure they check everything prior to throwing it in here, but it is really nice having a checklist. So basically every single item, the quantity, and then again, a little checkbox so you can make sure you've got everything that you're supposed to have in here. Then we've got our little Voron sticker. Is there an LDO sticker? I hope so. Yeah, there is, cool. Little LDO sticker as well. This is just packaging material and make sure I don't throw out anything. I've done that before too, actually on the iFast printer. It said it came with both a regular BuildTak style flex plate, a powder coated one, and a USB flash drive. And I took everything out of the massive box and I had no space here. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna throw this out so I have some space. And I was like, huh, they forgot to ship me out the powder coated flex plate and the flash drive. And then I went out to the trash and it was taped to the underside of the foam. And I was like, oh my God, I'm glad I checked. Ooh, we've got the Dragonfly, which is definitely a hot end that I've become a really big fan of. We just did a video this last week, thanks to Bardicus, on installing this, the BMS version into the Ender 3 V2. Just so everyone knows the game plan, we're gonna be building this on stream completely stock, and the reason for that is the Voron 0.1, I still get a lot of other people in the community that ping me saying, hey, thanks so much, like your video and Nero's video and documentation helped me assemble it. So for the main build, I don't want to deviate from it at all, so that way people can follow it if they need to or check on certain aspects and, you know, not be like, oh, well, I followed it and did it wrong because you were doing this mod. But I am planning on afterwards installing the stealth burner with probably an LGX and probably the Rapido hot end. So this will probably get pulled out and I might end up using it in a different printer long term. But I do really like the Dragonflies. I think they're a really solid hot end. Maybe that's part of the reason I don't get one with my V3. Bought it from a US seller. I don't know, it's strange. I've gotten, no, I guess most all of the Big Tree Tech stuff I've gotten has been from them directly. Hey, we have a bot. We haven't had a bot in a little while. G-Funny's on it. I just realized that. Hey, G-Funny, we haven't had nearly as many bots in the last couple of streams, have we? Either that or you've just been on it. I completely forgot about them. Okay, so we have got the Voron Switchwire stainless steel linear rail kit, which these are the same style but beefier that I got with the Voron 0.1. So if I remember correctly, kind of one of the things they state is you don't need to do any prep to these other than afterwards adding a little bit of oil or lubricant to them. Let me see if they say the same thing with this. Yeah, stainless steel linear rails, that's right. No more worrying about rusty rails. Remember to properly lubricate your linear rails. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to just lube them afterwards. Let me see, they have a link. I'm curious to see what they recommend. Oh, cool, they have a guide. In this video, Nero recommends using a grease. If you're looking for specific grease, some of the most commonly recommended lubricants by Voron community are the That's really cool. So anybody that is, because there's a lot of debate on how to, what lubricant is best for linear rails. And so if you are looking at the LDO documentation for this under stainless steel linear rails, this link will take you to this page, which has Nero's video, these ratings, NLG, let's see. Yeah, those are ratings. And a couple of different recommended brands or white lithium grease. So that's kind of cool. Prepare your favorite grease lubricant delivery system. So I think that, yeah, I'll probably end up lubricating them after they're already on the printer. Which was really nice because the, and it's hard to multi-think. When I self-sourced the linear rails that I got from AliExpress, I wouldn't say that they were bad, but they definitely had a lot of gunk on them. And so I fully disassembled them, soaked them in IPA, and then added white lithium grease to them. And it was just kind of like a lot of work, I guess. So it's nice that you don't have to do all of that, and they're pretty much ready to rock, other than, again, adding a little bit of lubricant after. But yeah, it's funny seeing full-size parts because my experience with Voron builds have been very, very small. Everything has been so small, so I'm just curious to see how this build's gonna go in comparison. Everyone's told me it's a much easier build, but I don't know, I'm just, it's gonna be very different also because it's not a CoreXZ. I'm just curious to see how it all goes, so hopefully smooth. But I'm sure we'll have our fair share of speed bumps. Let me not let this fall off. All right, what am I missing? Chat is not visible. Let me change 1 second here. I want it to where I can look at both chat. Hey, LDO's here. Hey, Jason. And Nero's here. Oh, lube him first, Nero says. Okay, if that's what is recommended, then we will do that first. I'll probably have to order something because I don't think I've actually got much. What do I have? 1 second here. I think this is what I previously used. If I remember correctly, this might have been what I previously used. Actually, was it? Maybe I used this for the smooth rods. I don't know. If this stuff, I have to look up compared to what's recommended, but if this stuff's not going to work, Super Lube 21. This is Super Lube, but it doesn't look like it's the one that's recommended. I know that I asked, before building the Voron 0.1 initially, I asked everybody, and I know Nero chimed in on it too, and like the responses I got from the best lubricant to use was that everybody has their own opinion on it. There was very little alignment on it. Gotcha, grease over oil. Okay, I'll order some then as soon as stream's done, just so that way I've got it in time for when we need to mount them, which I think is in the first section of it. All right, let's see what's inside the electronics kit. I'm gonna keep everything inside of their boxes once we open them up, just so that way it's not a nightmare to sort of find things as we go across. So we've got a little heat sink for the Raspberry Pi, zip ties. We've got a 16 gigabyte SD card. What is this? Oh, an Ethernet jack. This is for, is this for the wiring of I've seen this before on a couple like printers, but I didn't know that the Switchwire, there's Ethernet jack. I also feel, so I was looking through, kind of drooling over the last couple of weeks in preparation for this, the Voron Discord, and I always like looking at people's completed builds just to kind of see well, just to get an idea of like color combinations and kind of what people are up to. And I will say that the Switchwire feels to be the loneliest of Vorons in terms of quantity being built, which I get that there's a lot of appeal around CoreXYs. I do. And I think that when a lot of people think of Voron, they think of a CoreXY machine. But the Switchwire to me is an awesome machine. And the kit is sub $1,000 and it's got a pretty good build volume. So like to me, it's a cool printer. But that's kind of the similar notion that I've got as well, is that it's just not nearly, the root panel can hold a network cable connector. Interesting, okay. I've looked a little bit through the build PDF just to get a general idea that there was nothing that was crazy looking, that I was like, I should do research. But I don't remember seeing anything with that. So it comes with a Raspberry Pi 3 Model B, which huge thank you to LDO, because right now Raspberry Pis are incredibly difficult to source. I made the video on the Pi 20 or Pi 02W, and I have been looking ever since to be able to purchase one. The only place I can find them is on eBay, and they're like 3 or 4 times marked up. So Raspberry Pis have been brutally affected by chip shortages. This feels like an SSR, or no, buck converter. Oh, this is a small power supply. So this is a 5 volts. So there's a separate, interesting. Is this strictly for the Raspberry Pi? This is the most, this is an adorable little power supply. Meanwhile, output is 5 volts. Yeah, separate PSU. That's super cool. I guess I just assumed that it was like the V0 where there was going to be a buck converter. So you have a separate, completely separate power supply. I haven't noticed a big price increase of Pis here in the Netherlands. Interesting. How's it in Canada? Because I know Nero's in Canada, and there's at least 2 or 3 other people in chat from Canada. How have Pis been up there? Because down here, it's been really bad. I think you can occasionally find a Pi 3, maybe, or a Pi 4, but there's not very many of them. V0 is space. Gotcha. Okay. So it's really just due to space constraints. And then we've got this box. Oh, this is the display module. We can open this up. Let me grab some scissors. It will be it will be really nice to have a display also on a Voron. I know that you can easily install one on the V0, and I just haven't done it yet. It hasn't been that big of a deal running them completely headless, but I will admit that having a screen will also be nice. And I do have some plans to install a Clipper screen on a couple different machines here. So here is the screen, which is a Big Tree Tech screen. I haven't seen this Big Tree Tech screen before. It's nice, it's perfect. I mean, just something to be able to check status, see preheats, and also, you know, start a print job. So I'm excited to have that. Let's see if they're in stock. Yeah. I'm really kicking myself because when I made the video on installing Octoprint on the Pi 20, I'd planned on getting a few more, and I did. I have 2 of them here in total, but I plan on getting quite a few more. I wanted to sort of deck out a lot of machines with either Clipper or Octoprint. And how did I do this? This is like really good puzzle packaging. Foam. But yeah, they came back in stock twice at SparkFun. No, not SparkFun. Adafruit and what was the other company? And DigiKey. And I was like, I'll get it next time. And then I didn't. When I finally needed them, they just they haven't come back in stock. I've looked on all of the tracking things and they just haven't been in stock in months. So hopefully things change a little bit at least. So Normally we do a stream every Wednesday. The game plan is once we start doing this, which will be next Wednesday is when the first build will start, where the goal is to do the frame. We'll probably end up doing Wednesday, Friday streams like we sort of did with the Voron Zero, just so that way, monkey's barking. Just so that way we can get some progress. And I know that once I get everything going, I get kind of antsy, and to let the project sit, like, Jason Bao, $20 tip. Thank you. Thanks for great video. Thank you very much for the tip. Totally, between dog bark and that, I lost my train of thought. Building. Yeah, I get kind of antsy. So like once we get this starting, I'm not gonna wanna just do Wednesday and then let it sit for a week staring at me. So we'll do Wednesday, Friday in hopes that we can get it done in a couple weeks. I think that should be realistic. And I might put that towards put that tip towards a Raspberry Pi. I think that should be realistic, but I want to kind of take this slow, just build, take this build kind of slow and make sure that we do everything correctly. So, yeah. Okay, inlets and fans. Off to run some errands, have fun unboxing. Cool. Hey, thanks for stopping by, Nero. Appreciate it. And I will definitely make sure that we do the lubing of the linear rails before we actually assemble. So we've got the power plug, or inlet, couple fans, I'm assuming layer cooling fan probably, it looks pretty beefy, and then possibly the hot end or the heatsink fan. And then this fan, I actually have no idea. I would assume that this is for the electronics. That's the only thing I could think of a fan this big. Probably electronics. What is this? This is a, I don't see the size on it. Is it a 60 mil? It's a pretty large fan. Oh, what brand of fans? Sorry, I didn't see that till a second. So the little ones say GDS time, or at least, so the heatsink fan says GDS time. The blower fan, all GDS time. Yep, G-Funny got it. GD time fans. GD time. All right, cable kit. After crimping the entire self-sourced kit, I will say that having a wire harness is one of my absolute favorite things about going with the LDO kit. I mean, there's nothing wrong, like crimping wires is fine, and if you put some music on and kind of just zone, it's not that bad, but man, after doing everything once, I definitely see the appeal in having a wiring harness. And it looks like this is, I think, let me see. I don't want to actually take everything out. So this is a tiny little, I can actually go pretty close to this. Tiny little PCB for the screen. Basically just an adapter from the expansion ports to sort of the standard ribbon cables that normally go in, that normally go inside the LCD screen. Let me not lose that. Then there are, this is also super cool too. There's LEDs, so by default, it's meant to have a, I think most people that build Vorons do install LEDs because it's like, why not? And being able to, I love Klipper's ability to very easily turn on and off LEDs through a macro. But being able to just really see all of the inside of your printer as well as the first layer is great. But just the fact that they include it kind of already ready to rock and roll is awesome. But yeah, this is all just cables. This is heated bed power cable, bed thermistor, LCD adapter, 2 LCD ribbon cables, LED junction PCB, LED extension cable, and LED strips, 2 of them. I'm still fighting my Sidewinder X2. I love it, but the default slicing profile and Prusa slicer is garbage. Interesting. Yours is modded though, right? Inappropriate? I thought you said you threw a mosquito on it. Yeah, this is really nice. All right, Switchwire kit, power cables and miscellaneous cables, inlet cable, AC to 24 volts, AC to 5 volts, 5 volt to Raspberry Pi cable, 24 volt to SKR, Raspberry Pi to SKR USB cable, and then 3 Wago terminals, which I haven't actually used on a 3D printer. Have you considered planned some CAN bus? Luke's Lab has been taking pre-orders. Yeah, so GFunny actually showed me, I won't pretend like I didn't fully understand what the benefit was of one of those CAN bus heads. GFunny got one on a printer he showed me that he's working on, and it seems awesome. Like the more I understand it, that basically it's a board with an MCU of its own, which allows you to do things like, I think the one he had an 80XL built into it because it was for the tool head, and it made it where there was way less wiring needed for the actual tool head to the main board. So I'm certainly interested in it. The downside is that GFunny also said prices have increased, which is just due to, again, the chip shortages. So not that I won't do it. It's possible I will do it, but yeah, I haven't fully dove into if I'm going to be installing it or not on this machine or on a different printer. But I do see the appeal, and I think it would be a lot of fun to play around with it. Everyone was telling me on the Voron Zero to use Wago terminals. So I'll finally get to use them. I've never used these before. I just know that everybody swears by them for wiring, so. Yeah, I'll keep all of the wires nice and together. Only 4 wires required for the, yeah, that's super nice. Textured bed and Mosquito Magnum. I was having issues with it before though. Logically, I decided to upgrade it rather than fix it. Converting it to genuine gauge spell seems to help a ton though. Wagos are amazing. Everybody says that. They must be. If everybody says it, there has to be validity to it. I've never used them. Switchwire kit, toolhead PCB cables. Yes, there is a toolhead PCB. I believe it's this. Yeah, so this reminds me very similarly of the umbilical cord mod that I did on the V0. Is this I know that JP, you've built quite a few switch wires. Is it pretty standard that most all of them, if you source them, come with a toolhead PCB? Or no, is that something that's optional for building it? I've never used Wagos either. I'm going to learn a lot from these streams. Yeah, we'll learn and fail together. Gates builds aren't expensive. I mean, it depends on what your definition is of expensive, but I think you can, like, if I remember correctly, I ordered them off AliExpress and for $10 got enough for, you know, a printer. So they're not like any sort of crazy premium price. Totally optional, but HARC boards are, in my opinion, a must. Yeah, it'll be cool to have this. So this has, oh, that's the sensor. I haven't seen the sensor like that before. Actually, we can pull it out. Man, that is a huge sensor. Hey, JP, on your switch wires, are you running this sort of stock sensor? Or are you doing the, oops, I think I hit the camera. Are you doing the clicky probe? So this is the sensor. It's a beefy sensor. It's probably the biggest sensor I've seen for bed leveling. You will definitely be starting with it. I know that a lot of people have, or GFunny swears by the clicky probe too. See, I think I bumped it a little bit completely. There we go. Speaking of, could you shoot me a link in the Discord, Barbicus? Look forward to these streams so I can learn about his stuff. I learn a ton too, honestly. Like, I've learned quite a bit from just everybody here chiming in on certain things. Like, a lot of this is new to me too. 3D printing is such a vast technology that, you know, like I might have a good idea of a lot of the different aspects of it, but there is so much, especially with electronics, that is just completely new to me. So I like learning too. It's a lot of fun. And the Switchwire breakout PCB cables. There is another small tool head board. What did this one say? Okay. There's a lot of wires. So this is the last PCB. I think I'm gonna need to get another light for over the shoulder because it's a little bit dark. Tool head breakout designed, cool, designed by LDO. I do really like the wiring harnesses. DC says clicky all the way. I don't know about LDO board, but it has a built-in thermistor so you can set up an enclosure temp. Ooh, that's sick. Okay, clicky is a must. Man, everybody's sort of so clicky. Is it? It's gotta be because of the fact that with this type of sensor, it requires a metal build plate and it's more sensitive to temperature fluctuations, right? Clicky is cheaper, but don't have it yet, but I will switch to that. But I totally fried my arm-on probe. Ooh, that sucks. The Clicky probe is, from my understanding, actually, I think I have one, Lisa. It's basically a Z limit switch that's used for ooh, don't fall. For running the bed leveling. Let me see. I think that Fabreeko sent me one. One second. If I've got one, it's easier to just show visual. I think I've got one for the V0 in here. Let's see, this is belted Z. This is side swipe. Oh, side swipe V0 probe. That's not a clicky probe. Maybe I don't have one. I thought that, wait, is this it? Clicky probe, sick. Yeah, Fabreeko sent over some goodies a while back that we'll probably be installing at some point in a V0. So clicky probe, this is basically the little kit and there's not a lot to it. I'm sure someone here that actually is running one can speak a little bit more on sort of behalf of it, but small screws, heat inserts. So the actual probe itself is just a limit switch. And if I am not mistaken, it goes onto a small printed part and it basically uses these little magnets. And so when you run the bed leveling command, the head moves over. There's like a magnetic thingy or a magnet that you put on the tool head, I believe, or maybe it just sticks to the metal on the tool head, but it picks up that Z limit switch, goes around, probes the bed, and then drops it back off at like its magnetic home. So it's easier to, maybe I should have thought that through. It's easier to see it, like if you look on YouTube, Clicky Probe Voron mod, but instead of using a sensor, it's a physical click. And the way it works is pretty freaking cool with the magnets, how it picks it up and then drops it off. I feel like that's a decent job of explaining it. Clicky's nice because it's print surface. Yeah, I could see that. I will say that I've had a pretty damn good experience using the, oh, why am I brain farting? I can't think of what it's called right now. The probe that's on the, oh, Pinda, the Super Pinda on the Prusa. I've had a pretty good experience with that working regardless of temperature. Like it seems to be fairly consistent. But yeah, everybody I know swears by the physical switches. And again, I can see why, because they will work with any surface versus having to have a specific type of surface. Hey, Pi's here. How's it going? The pickup and drop off is the part that makes geeks want to build it. I completely agree. Yeah, the fact that like an end stop being used for bed leveling, to me, I'm like, okay, that's cool, I guess. So I remember really janky 3D printer mods like 5 or 6 years ago where people were doing that. But the fact that it like picks it up using magnets, does its thing, and then drops it back off is what's super freaking cool. It just, it's very, very cool. Input shaper toolkit. So is this the, hey, input shaper? Yeah, so this is probably the ADXL. Oh, interesting. It looks, it might be the ADXL, but it's definitely a bit different than, it's definitely a little bit different than the one I've self-sourced. So there's this one, and then there, let me not, 1 second. Very tiny ribbon cable. I don't want to take this out until we're going to use it, but it's a small, I can tell you actually, I'm sure it's in the bottom as far as the details on it. Did I lose the bottom? Here we go. Electronics, heatsink, meanwhile, zip ties, machine screws, self-tap. Yeah, it's definitely for input shaping. It says on there, but is it an ADXL or a different? 1 second. It just looks a lot different. That doesn't mean it's not an ADXL. It just looks way different. It just says LDO input shaper toolkit, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to open it up right now because I'm scared I'm going to lose it until we actually need it. Granted, I've got like the full, like the slightly larger ADXLs, but yeah, this is for running input shaper when it's all said and done. Very, 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 very small ribbon cable. We'll see how I do with that. I'm definitely not the most delicate. Okay, so it's LDO's version of it. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the footprint of it is definitely smaller than the ADXL I'm used to using. I need to build a Voron quiet. I want to play with Clicky. Oh, gotcha. So that's the main difference then, G-Funny, is that it uses that ribbon cable instead of using the pin headers, right? That's how it's smaller. You don't have to have the full-size pin headers to plug it in to wires or to another board. All right, then we've got these for hiding our cable mess, which I didn't think that I liked them. Initially, I remember I was saying like, yeah, it looks so much nicer if you spend the time and do the wiring correctly, but oh man, this helps to expedite the wiring process so much, and it's very efficient. It's very efficient at making your wiring look a lot nicer and keeping wires from getting tugged on. So these wire channels are definitely growing on me after using it on this second Voron. I don't know if anyone was here that was here during the Voron 0 build. No, there was definitely some people here that were here in the Voron build. But I lost this. I think I lost part of the wire channel during the build and was looking around asking, has anyone seen the wire channel? I'm gonna do my best to keep things organized a little bit more for this build. Okay, tool head in motion. We've got our bearings, the F695 2RS, 20 of them. I've seen those wire holders on our Rank Force RF100. I love them. Rank Force RF100. I don't know what that is. We've got Bondtech parts, so similar to what we had on the 0.1. Do we have to sand this post or the shaft down a little bit or no? I don't think I had to on the LDO one. I did on the self-source one and that wasn't super fun. But I think on the, I think that the LDO one came to size. I love a product that sells itself as you start to use it. Yep. It's funny, there's so many things, right, that you do things a certain way, and then you try something different, and then once you do that, there's these times where you're like, how did I ever do things before I had this? But yeah, those wire channels are very, very nice. We've got this little motor gear. Some PTFE. Oh, the keyback. This is really cool. So it's my, like, from what I know, again, this is from what I've seen of the Switchwire, and I don't have one, but well, we don't have one built yet. We're gonna have one. The Z-axis is completely belted, and so part of that is when the motors don't hold current, the tool head would drop and slam into the bed. And so they use these little keyback pulley systems to keep them from dropping down to the bed. I'm gonna open it because I think it's pretty freaking cool. Maybe I'm doing it, oh, don't break. Yeah, so basically when the motor would be dropping the gantry, this keeps the pull force on it. It's just a really clever, it's very, very clever. I like that. I think it's probably, yeah, the keyback is freaking awesome. Is this also the first belted Z I've ever used? This might be the first belted Z I've ever used on a machine, which I'm really excited to play around with the Z hopping to see how quickly I can Z hop with this. Also not having to worry about bent lead screws is also very cool. Does anyone know, I'm just curious, does anybody know if there's a negative of using a belted Z over a lead screw? I'm just trying to think in my head, like, I mean, the only things I can think of is like, so belts will stretch over time, so you'll have to make sure that they're tensioned, but other than that, they should be able to move quicker. You've got the keyback system, so there's no worries of dropping, but in my mind, like, they should allow for a quicker motion on the Z, quicker Z hopping, and it should get rid of any issue with Z wobble as long as the linear rails are stiff and rigid and there's no issues with them, which they will be. It's a dog leash. It is a dog leash, Lisa. It totally is. I bumped it. Yeah, where would be the only thing I could think of, but I mean, belts don't wear that quickly as long as they're quality belts. I think that just checking, you know, if you've been running it like crazy for a while, maybe just do a general check that the tension's still good on them. I'm just wondering, because I can't think of any, or at least many, stock printers that use belted Zs. I think Lulzbot has belted Zs on their Mini 2 and a couple of their newer machines, but most manufacturers aren't doing belted Zs. I just wonder why. As long as the counterweight works perfectly, it seems like a win-win in theory. Yeah, that's how I feel as well. Oh, speaking of speaking of the double, Gates belts, or at least they look like Gates belts. It says open belt. I don't know if are they branded as Gates belts? They've got to be. They look like it as far as color goes. They might be LDO branded Gates belts. I'm thinking that they're like LDO branded Gates style belts because if you look, they've got the brown color, and if I look at them on the side, they appear to be Gates style belts. I'm sure LDO went with quality belts. That would be a silly thing to not go with quality on when they've done like sort of name brands or their own high quality versions of these things. Oh, it is original Gates belts. Okay, Jason confirmed. So it is Gates belts. I don't see the stamping on it, but they look exactly like Gates belts, so that makes sense. Got our bearings for the extruder. Couple little set screws with some thread lock on them. Yeah, Gates belts are absolutely worth the extra money. On the original Voron Zero that I self-sourced, I accidentally bought cheap belts, and they were giving me issues pretty early on. I ended up taking it apart and swapping out the belts for Gates belts and new bearings for the motion system, and it's made a huge difference on that machine. So yeah, I would say there are things that you could possibly cheap out on. I would say belts are not one of those things. Spend the little bit of extra money on Gates belts. A couple more set screws, tiny, tiny ones. I'm gonna keep all this together. We got our tension arm. Oh, that's cool too, look at that. It's got the Voron logo on it. Small detail, but very, very cool. LDO are the king on quality. They seem to skimp on nothing. Yeah, I completely agree. I've had nothing but pleasant experiences with all things LDO. I think these might have been the same ones I put back. 3 pulleys, and then we've got, of course, our our cable chain for keeping everything nice and organized. It's so funny how this playlist goes from really relaxing music to like, I don't know if this is dubstep, but it's definitely got a heavy drop. Let's go. I like retro. We're going with a retro. I might add a couple albums to this playlist. Do LDO ship to the UK? LDO, I don't believe LDO sells directly, if I'm not mistaken. Gates belts brown should be a filament color. Yeah, I don't believe LDO, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they sell directly. They, I mean, Jason can answer for sure, but I'm almost positive they're exclusively through their reseller channels. Yeah, resellers. Yep. I mean, I know there are companies that do both, manufacture and sell, but a lot of times it seems like it's a win-win to, you know, focus on what you're good at, which is like, they're really good at manufacturing things and putting things together, and then have, you know, the resellers provide the sales and shipping to individual customers. Yeah, that keyback is super cool. Mod, can you put the reseller list here? I think, yeah, absolutely. Or G-Funny, can you grab it? My keyboard is behind a bunch of boxes. Just the LDO reseller list, which I'm assuming is probably on their website if you just go to LDO. LDO already owns me. They just need to get kits of Sparta 3D, 2 Sparta 3D in Canada. I'm buying at least 1 kit, the Switchwire, and possibly a 2.4 as well. Jason just suffering through, through a 5-sec Prusa Bear kit. Should have gone with one of your kits, really well organized. Jason, do you guys sell bear kits? You guys do. I'm almost positive. If you go with an authentic bear kit from, is Greg no, I can't think of the creator behind the bear project right now. It's slipped my mind, but it's LDO if you go with the like official bear kit, right? I'm almost positive that yeah, it is. Sounds like a Pokemon game now. Got my LDO Voron 0.1 from 3D Jake in the UK. Bear kit from LDO too. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know why. I didn't even think of that. Is it a full kit, Jason, or is it just like frame? Well, I guess that's most of it, right? The frame, motors. Do you guys do full hardware kits for the bear? I know I've seen LDO frames for it now that I think of it, in probably. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have if you have full hardware, that's pretty cool. Couldn't afford the actual bear kit, just frame and hardware. So yeah, I think that's the majority of it though, aside from all the printed parts. It's basically a beefier, beefier upgrade. Cool, thanks G-Funny. G-Funny posted the Voron LDO Motors reseller list. Okay, this is the motor kits. So we have got 4 motors. It looks like 3 of them are the same, and then 1 super small one, which must be for the tool head. .8 degree, NEMA 17. This is, look at how small this is. This is a crazy small stepper motor compared to the more standard size NEMA 17s. That's crazy. It's so light. Yeah, I know. It's I've used some smaller steppers. This might be the smallest stepper motor I've personally used. Other than on the V0, it's got that really, really small round stepper. But for like a full-size square NEMA 17, this might be the thinnest I've used. We call the Super Slim series. Yeah, they typically do work well because of the gear ratio in the extruder that's actually used. They don't need as much torque to drive the filament downward. It's similar to like how, I think on the E3D Humera, I'm pretty sure they have a fairly small motor like this as well, but the gear ratio allows it to have a lot of torque without needing to have such a beefy motor. I mean, for example, like granted, I'm probably going to be upgrading the mini afterburner to an LGX Lite just because G-Funny and DC swears they're the the best thing ever, and I'm curious. I want to play around with them as well. But I will say, like, even that tiny motor on the mini afterburner has done a pretty damn good job of pushing filament. True story, I drunkenly purchased an LDO orbiter just because it was so darn cute. Yeah, the orbiter's on, is it version 2.0 now, or I haven't used an orbiter, but I've seen them and they do look adorable. Jason, are you going to be selling the PCB kit for the Switchwire alone? Would 100% buy that. What about the clockwork extruder? The clockwork is the clockwork? I don't know. Since I've only done the Voron 0.1, I mostly know the mini afterburner and then the new, let me see, clockwork. Clockwork is Voron Galileo versus clockwork. Yeah, V2, okay. Oh, I didn't know. Bardicus, did you build a rat rig or do you just have an EVA hot end that you modded onto another printer? Currently focused on kit production and will release some parts kits in the future. We have pretty much back order for... Yeah, I figured you guys are slammed with orders. Also, I'm sure that delays and shortages and things like that are not helping get caught up with demand. I'll have to, okay, here we go. Okay, so there's Mobius, Jetpack, Afterburner, Clockwork. So this has the Afterburner, no. Yes, Afterburner. Afterburner is not specifically an extruder, but the collective name for the Voron direct drive. Interchangeable toilet system. The Afterburner system has three, let me screen share this really quick for anybody, because there's a lot of people in here that also haven't built a Voron, and I also, like I've said, don't fully know all of the things, so 1 second. It's kind of cool to see this. So this is in the Voron documentation where it goes through kind of all the different printers. If you go down to the extruders and variants, there's the Mobius M4, which is the original Bowden extruder, the Jetpack, which is a modified Mobius designed to be mounted on the X-axis for a shorter Bowden, the Afterburner, which is the one that I think I've mostly seen on most of the Vorons. It's a collective name for the Voron direct drive interchangeable toolhead system. The Afterburner system has 3 interchangeable components: the extruder, the toolhead holding the hot end, and the cooling assembly. Each of these can be swapped without affecting the other component. Interesting. So what extruder, Jason, what extruder is it that is on here then? Is it the, so mini Afterburner is what's on both of my Voron Zeros. Clockwork is the name given to the original extruder for the Afterburner. It is a repackaged, maybe that's what it is. BMG in a pancake, that must be it. Pocket watches, Afterburner clockwork package. Repackaged for a smaller size, so it's definitely not that. Galileo is the newest extruder designed to fit on an Afterburner. It's based on the orbiter extruder and incorporates a planetary gear reduction. I think it's the clockwork. Check manual of Switchwire. Yeah, Stealth Burner is pretty rad, and I do plan on doing that. Okay, so they have whatever's in the official manual, it seems like. So let's go assembly manual. Okay, clockwork. We are going to be going through a lot of pages together. I'm excited though. It's been a while. It's been probably like 5 months since we built the Voron, so Afterburner. You can run a Stealth Burner with a clock. Yeah, so I think the game plan is I'm going to be installing just as is, so it'll be the afterburner. And then once the build's done, we'll switch over to a stealth burner. Because the added cooling seems awesome. Also, I'm a sucker for RGB LEDs. Yeah, there it is, clockwork. So the clockwork is, where did I have it? This one. Which makes sense because I did see the BMG dual geared extruder. Cool. Mystery solved. A second, let me organize layout again. Such hardships you're suffering, you may need to check in rehab for these addictions. So question for Jason, will you guys ever make a Mobius 4 kit? All right, here's the Y carriage that I thought was with the panels earlier. So I believe it's the same exact, identical one. Oh, we need, I think it's the exact same one that comes in the Prusa, the full-size Prusa MK3S or MK3S Pluses, which has been a solid Y frame. Dude, the packaging is just so nice. It's like, look at that. It's a really nice packaging. Prevent scratching. Okay, so this is where it's opening. I'm gonna have to tear it, there's no way. It's just, this is, major hats off to whoever on your team, Jason, does the packaging, because the packaging is phenomenal. It actually might be slightly different than the Prusa. I can't remember, like I know these look the same for the same, no, it might be the exact same. Because now that I think about it, this is where the LM8U bearings would go, which I don't believe we're using on this. It's a linear rail. But yeah, it's just a really nice bed frame. Lightweight, aluminum, it looks great. Keep it based on Prusa design, but have more threaded holes. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so it seems like it still has the mounting points for the LM8Us, but I don't remember there being all these holes in the middle, so that's what Jason's saying is that this is, there's additional holes here to mount it to the linear rail. Yeah, it's a really nice bed frame. Put it back in its nice little cubby. Nope. Yep. Okay. We are running out of space. We're gonna start stacking them on top of this crate. Should we do frame next? This is a very long frame box. I don't know if we'll take out all of the frame parts right now because there's not a ton to see. We went with black frames on this one because I was gonna do black frames on the Voron Zero build that we did, but Fabreeko convinced me to, well, kind of convinced me. He sent me pictures of the purple frames from LDO and I sort of fell in love with them. But for this one, we're going with black frames because I think that the black printed parts with the green is just gonna look so nice. Watch, let me grab one of these printed parts. So this will be black on black for the main parts, and I think that just the little accents in this bright green is gonna look so good. So I'm excited. I think it was a good choice. Same, just a few extra threaded holes in the middle part. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, seriously, whoever does all of the packaging, it's next level. I mean, seriously, considering how many pieces there are and like they've all got their own little boxes and their own little compartments within each of the boxes, like it's really, really nice. And even the black aluminum looks really nice. So these are, looks like 3030s. They're definitely beefier than 2020s. And then there's a couple of These look like 2020s, your standard 2020 profiles. So it's definitely a chunky 2020s on this side and 3030s on the left. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Yeah, we'll keep these all in here nicely so that way the coating doesn't get scratched between now and then. But this will be the first thing we're building, I believe, is the frame before anything else. So we will get that assembled. Hopefully getting the frame squared goes a little bit better than our endeavor with the laser engraver we just finished, because that was a long, it took a long time to get that fully squared. All right, fasteners, tools, and miscellaneous. If Sparta doesn't get these kits in stock soon, I may explode. I like black frames, black base with a gray accent if I'm feeling frisky. Yeah, normally, like, me as a person, I'm pretty neutral. Like, even like clothing style, like I'm wearing gray pants with gray, like this is, you know, this is bright for me, this like maroonish hat. So the original Voron was a little bit of like a wild card because I went with like Modbot colors. So I was like, okay, we'll do the green, the black, and the oranges because that's the sort of channel theme in the robot. But then I was like, okay, the next one will be a bit more basic with just the black frame, but the purple frame looks really, really nice. And I like both. Like Dustin, I don't think he's here in the stream today, but he has a few different Vorons, and on one of his Vorons, it's like the brightest thing ever. I think he has like orange acrylic, if I'm not mistaken, and like UV lights, but it also looks super cool. So I can appreciate both very like sleek looking printers and also just loud in your face printers as well. Okay, so what was this one? This is fasteners, tools, and miscellaneous. So we've got Bowden tubing, which is clear, same as on the LDO Voron 0.1, which is super nice. It's just nice being able to see if you've got any filaments stuck or anything like that. I ordered black PTFE for the first build I did, thinking it would look cool, but yeah, it looks cool, but it's not very functional. So clear PTFE is nice to make sure, again, that you have got no jams or like that or any filament stuck. A bunch of different hex wrenches. We've got a drill bit. We've also got another one of those inserts for the brass fittings. Our handy dandy tape that I'd never used prior to using the VHB tape. I'd never used this stuff prior to building a Voron, and I use it all the time now. This stuff's amazing. If you need a tape to just stick something to another object, this is what you should be using, VHB tape. Oh, Eggy's taking off. Hey, have a great night, Eggy. I really need a gold switchwire. Ooh, I know that, was it LDO? LDO made a space gray frame, if I'm not mistaken, that looked really nice. And then, does LDO, I've seen white frames, I just don't know if they're LDO. Do you guys make white frames over LDO? I know that, I think Nero got one for his, Micron. I just don't know if it's LDO or not. I think it is. We have got the compressor feet. So instead of printing out TPU feet, you just use these, which are really nice. Very large. Hey, Local's here. How's it going? Oh wow, this is literally, yeah. So this is what I'm going. We're not going to open all of this up right now because this is literally screws and everything. But the game plan is to get as much of this stuff as I can into one of these between now and next Wednesday when we start assembling it, just to make things a bit easier on myself and not juggle bags, drop bags, lose bags. There's a lot of hardware in here. So we won't go through all of this, but basically all the bolts. It's very nice to see these spring-loaded, the spring-loaded nuts versus the tiny, tiny little nuts that were used on the Voron Zero. It'll just be a lot nicer in case we forget something or have to go backwards, although we'll try not to. It's just nice knowing that you aren't having to completely disassemble the entire frame. Nero's is a DFH. Oh, okay, gotcha. We want to make every color we have, but it also brings difficulty to us for me. Yeah, I could see that. Also, I can definitely see it being difficult to keep But space gray is a color that you guys put out recently, right, LDO? Pretty sure I saw someone say this is new from LDO and it looked gorgeous. We got some magnets. What are the, oh, this must be for the enclosure, I'm assuming, because there's no clicky probe. Print a steppy. Oh, this is your guys' little mascot that I saw the other day on social media. That's cool. They have a little stepper motor. They also have a LDO stepper motor printable like torque wrench type thing, which is funny because Zerant was just talking about printing out a torque wrench for nozzle changes, and LDO has their mascot that's kind of like a functional version of them. And these are bed spacers, which I've used these on the Prusa, so I'm very familiar with those. Okay, let's see. Actually, I think that this needs to go on the bottom. We are getting down to the final couple of boxes here. There is a lot, there's a lot of stuff in this kit. I'm excited. Jason, hire me, I'll manage them all in my garage. Space Gray is a new color of LDO friend currently on. Okay, yeah, the Space Gray looks gorgeous. I saw a photo of it, it's beautiful. For like someone that wants that sort of dark sleek, but doesn't want to go black, like the gray, the Space Gray is just really nice. Okay, so heated bed, which I'm assuming, I'm almost positive, we'll open it though still. I'm almost positive this is the same style heated bed also that's on the Prusa. Let me not go too deep, I don't want to damage anything. Oops. So we have got a tiny little bulb thermistor. Some tape for placing it. Looks like aluminum foil and Kapton tape. A couple of bolts, which might be for the power cables on the very back of it. Oh no, this is, it's similar to the Prusa one, but it looks like they've got different stamping on it. What color makes the printer faster? Yeah, this is definitely a different, oh man, this is gorgeous. So I'm nearly positive it's the same bed as what's on the MK3S Plus, but instead of being black with white, it's black with red for the Voron colors, and it says Voron Switchwire. This is if a bed PCB can be beautiful, this is gorgeous. Man, yeah, I'm super excited. And it's got the embedded magnets for the flex plate system. This is a gorgeous bed. It's the silk screening, I believe, is the term I was looking for. Yeah, that is a very nice bed. Like again, it's like the little details. Like they've got these beds, you know, like they make these beds already, but to customize them like that takes extra time and cost, but they do it, and it makes all the difference, those little details. Yeah, it's a beautiful bed. That's all right, let's check out the flex plate bed. I think that, this needs to go back in there. This is, this is not good. That's how things get lost. I'm like, hey, they didn't include it with the kit. And I'm like, it was there on stream. Okay, this was this, I think it was like, no, almost positive that this was here to cover the bed. Then this was on top like that. Yeah. I'd be really bummed out if I put the components right on top of the bed, then scratched up the coating on it. Okay. What is this? Is this... Oh, power cord. We won't open this. Very important, but not super exciting. So just a standard power cable. And then last but not least is the flex plate, which I don't know if it comes with. The V0 came with the options of both powder coated and smooth. I don't know if this also has both or if it's one or the other. Personally, I've been using the powder coated for just about everything. I typically prefer it, but having both, it would not be a bad thing. Let's see. Is it one or is it two? Okay, it is one, but it is powder coated, which is the preference by me. Also, again, the small detail on the side, Voron Switchwire, but powder coated PEI flex plate, which is my favorite build surface for all standard printing. That looks freaking great. That is awesome. I'm gonna put it back in here for now. Everyone, please give a huge thank you to Jason. Hey, Zeron's here. Oh man, literally as we're done with the unboxing, I referenced you a couple times, man. All good things. Yeah, please everyone give a thank you to Jason. Jason and Fabreeko both sponsored this build, so thank you to both of them for allowing us to start building this. So once this stream, what time is it right now? Once this stream ends, I am going to be taking a photo of a couple of the pieces that came in here, and then I'll post the stream for next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, we are going to start building it. Wednesday will be the frame, and then we'll also schedule, I'm trying to think if I want to schedule Friday stream. Oh wait, so next stream will be Wednesday, and then the game plan is to also stream on Friday while we're building this, because I'd like to get it built within a couple of weeks, and if we just do once a week for a couple of hours, it might drag on, and I really know once this thing starts to get assembled, I usually get like a little bit of, I don't know what the even word is, but like, I get too excited, and I won't want it to sit for that long, so I will get the stream scheduled for next week shortly, so that way we can get this going, and then again, all I've got left to do really is print out the final couple skirt pieces and get the hardware organized, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah, thank you, Jason. I mean, seriously, like, the quality of the stuff that you guys have been putting out is absolutely amazing, and it seems like, I know you are definitely the face of the LDO community side of things, but you yourself and your team have been taking feedback from the community and stuff, and just, I don't know, it's really, really awesome. I think it's also made a lot of things, but definitely Voron more accessible to a lot of people, because the first kit that I built, or the first one that I built was self-sourced, and I understand the appeal for some people that want to self-source, but I think that it just makes it much more accessible, being able to get everything in a nice package, knowing that it's quality, and you've got everything that you need to get up and running with a finished machine. So yeah, this is, I'm really pumped on this. This is gonna be a ton of fun. So I will schedule it. I'm trying to think if there's anything like last minute here to go over. It's kind of a quick stream. I didn't know how long it was gonna take to go through everything. Yeah, I watched the recent streams. Don't worry, it's sometimes too late for me. I know, you're on the other side of the planet. Which it's actually, oops, I don't want to drop a sticker. It's actually pretty cool, but I think it's because, again, right now it's 1:30 in the afternoon in the US, on the Pacific Standard Time. So it's kind of early for a lot of people in the States, and a lot of the viewers here are out of the country, so it's pretty cool. Thanks, my bot. It's proud to work with the community. Yeah, absolutely. Voron has been such a fun, like refreshing, because I've been 3D printing since 2014, and I love 3D printing. Most of the printers though have been kind of like your standard off-the-shelf stuff with a little bit of tweaks, and Voron has been just a completely different world in terms of, one, like CoreXY, well, this one's CoreXZ, but with Clipper and all the different things. So it's been so much fun, and yeah, I'm excited to get this thing built. I think this is everything. I'm gonna put it all in the box right now until I can kind of piece out what we need for the next stream. Let me see, let's go front cam for a second. We will put this right here next to the belt printer for right now. Whew. Hey, BBs. It's 9:30 in the UK right now. It's actually 3:33. Yeah, right here it's 1:30 right now. With knowledge. I like broke a sweat doing that. Yeah, I don't actually have anything else planned. Maybe we just call it with kind of a short stream today. Because next week's stream, I'm sure, will be at least 3 hours, probably longer. Every time I try to time out how long a stream's going to be, it ends up being a lot longer. No, I don't want to start the frame yet. The reason for that is that I want to organize everything and give myself a fair chance at being successful right away. And I want to get drawers printed out for this so that I can put the hardware in here and just organize things a little bit more. Plus, I said earlier on like social media that we were just gonna do the unboxing today. And so for anyone that wants to catch the actual build part of it, I don't want to start without them. Yeah, I'm trying to think. We can play around with a belt printer. Is there anything exciting to show you guys? Yeah, I've kind of just, we could hang out for a little bit. Normally I just would start up a print and, let's see, so offer you some timing idea. Okay, cool, so 10 to 12 hours building roughly. Okay, that's about on par. I'm curious to see how long, I know it took us longer to build the V0. Let's see here. Oh, I goofed. I know that, well, one, like I talk a ton when I'm doing builds, but I think that the V0 took us, let's see, playlist, view full playlist. Okay, so that's funny, the unboxing was about the exact same, 1 hour and 35 minutes is what the Voron 0 LDO unboxing was. Okay, so we spent 2, 4, 4.5, 5, 6, 7.5, 10.5, 13.5, 14, 15.5. It was about 18 to 19-ish hours on the Voron 0.1 build, roughly. Maybe even more than that. There's a part 7 where we did some of, I guess like the last 2 episodes were more playing around with the Clipper configuration, running input shapers. So I won't really count that as part of the build, even though, I mean, it's essentially part of the process. So I anticipate this will probably take about 15 hours. How is the belt printer? How are your Voron Switchwire parts coming along? So, would you be able to confirm the Prusa bed plate? Would you be able to confirm if the Prusa bed plate fits? What do you mean, Rain? Do you mean the Prusa's flex plates, like the flex plate fits on the bed for this? If so, it definitely will. Want to give a spool of filament away? We can. Do you want to do one from printed solid, or? The belt printer is doing good. I actually haven't done a ton with it since the last stream. You guys saw, I don't actually know. We printed out a little Chep cube on it that I don't know exactly what, oh, it's right here. Check it out. Let me go. So this was from last week's stream, or was it last week? Yeah, it was last week's. So the pond turned out pretty nicely. I don't like the lighting really from this. The lighting's all forward, so it makes it a little bit tough to show details on it. but it turned out pretty nice. The biggest issue is just, again, the bottom part of it. The belt pattern is, I don't really mind that so much, but it takes a little bit of time, like, where is it at? It takes a little bit of time for it to start building normally near the belt, just because the adhesion isn't all that great. But I haven't been printing with the belt printer so much because I've been trying to finalize the Ender 3S1. Let's see. Zeron says, how are the Switchwire parts coming along? So pretty good. If you remember, I said that I was going to be reprinting all of them because I wasn't really happy with the quality. I still think that they could be a bit better, but I'm at least happy with them. So all of the core components are done. All the accent parts are done. All that's left is I'm finishing up the second skirt right now. So there's 4 more skirt parts. I need to remember though that one of the skirts is not stock for the LDO kit. Let me see here. So I know that, let me go desktop here. And let me move this over here. So for the LDO kit, they recommend a different part. Why am I not seeing it? So the one thing to note, if you go with the LDO Switchwire kit, is that, and it was the same way with their Voron Zero, because they give you some extra parts and like sort of certain custom things like PCB. So like it says toolhead PCB, our kit includes a modified heart toolhead PCB. So there's a secondary printing guide. So if you go down to guides and you go to the supplementary print guide, the skirt, I saw it somewhere. Here we go. Not the skirt, the grill rear left. So it says our kit ships with a 1.2 millimeter AC inlet with integrated switch. So they recommend printing out this part. So there's a couple extra parts you have to print out. I need to print this out instead of the actual one that's in the GitHub for the Switchwire. And then I've printed out the toolhead. You need to print out the one for the Dragonfly. I've already done that, both parts of that, front and back. So I'm getting really close. I'm getting really, really close. There's a couple of extra things in here I need to print out, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. So I'll definitely be ready. I should have every single part done by next week's stream, even though we won't need them all done by next week's stream. So. Ooh, excuse me. Visor's a pain. Yeah, everyone I've talked to is saying that it's going to be so much easier to build this than the V0 was. Excuse me. I'm just trying not to let my guard down, if you will. Like, I don't want to go into it thinking, oh, it's going to be so easy and then be overwhelmed by it. So I am anticipating that, yes, it will probably be easier. But the one thing that I have to remember is, one, I'm building it on live stream, so I will be talking. I've never built one before. While the V0, although it might be a more difficult build, I had just done the same thing. Like, I had just done it probably 60 days prior to us building it on stream, so I was just much more familiar with it. But hopefully there's some people in chat that have Switchwires, so if there's a point or two where I get stuck, you know, hopefully somebody will be able to point me in the right direction. If not, we'll just go until we figure it out. When talking with the community, double the, oh, you're saying that the CNC, that the 0.1 is double the time of the Switchwire as far as build goes? Yes, I'll ship to a US winner. One second. Let's see. Jason confirmed. It's an MK52, exactly like the Porsche MK3S. So they fit. Yes, I'll ship. Okay, sick. Yeah, G-Funny says we can do a giveaway for. It's a what are the specifics behind it? It's a spool of PLA. Is it? Let's see. The LDO kits. They don't come with a printed manual, and I mentioned this before because I like printed manuals. But the Voron chopstick, the Voron Switchwire and the Voron project in general seems to evolve fairly often, and so I think that as much as I do like build manuals, and for example, like the Porsche MK3S Plus I built came with a build manual that was printed out, which was nice. It's hard, it's near impossible to keep those build manuals up to date. So although I do think that I can understand, you know, why someone would want one or why someone would like one, it could be more frustrating to have a printed manual than have something change. You print out parts and parts either don't align with the manual anymore, or it's just you do it differently than the manual. So I think that that's my only concern. It's one thing if it's a project where it's like, this is it, we're done, you know, like any printer that's off the shelf. But because of the fact that Voron does change fairly often from version to version, I think it'd be very difficult to maintain printed guides. So that's my reasoning for probably one of the reasons they haven't. Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna do a giveaway, which is super exciting. Everyone say thank you, G-Funny, in chat. There are requirements, so the winner has to be in the US, and I apologize to everyone out of the country. Is it something I hadn't even considered was don't they sell Trident? I really want to build one. Yes, allow us a few months. We always test a new kit carefully. LDO is insane. Yeah, so the tile that we gave away last week, I shipped it to Chicaro, and I hadn't even, like in my head, I know that there's a lot of people out of the country, but I hadn't considered it. And shipping that little tile was expensive, like compared to what I thought it was gonna cost. And Chicaro isn't even very far from where I'm at. So we're gonna be doing some giveaways when we hit 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Like I said, we're doing 3 ruby or diamond nozzles, and those ones I will ship anywhere in the world because they are small and it's not that difficult for me to ship. Thomas has the silicone socks that he's gonna be doing the giveaway for, and he's out of Europe. He also agreed that he can ship them anywhere. And with Wham Bam, I have to confirm that they ship internationally. I don't know how that'll work with their gift card, but yeah, I apologize to everyone. This giveaway, because G-Funny's running it, and again, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. One of the requirements is you have to be in the US. So, when is that giveaway happening for the nozzles? So nozzle giveaway, I don't know yet, Sam. It's at 1,000 subscribers, and so I have a anticipation that if I mention or shout out this channel on the main channel like 2 times, it will probably boost us pretty quickly. Like I think I said, hey, go over to this channel a week or 2 ago, and we jumped from like 600 to 700 subs in a couple days. So I'm thinking, based off the time frame I gave to the companies, I would say April. I think that we'll finish the Switchwire build, which will be a few weeks. We'll have 1 week where we'll just play around with the Switchwire, and probably around that time. So I will announce it at least a week in advance, and I will announce it on the main channel as well. So I will do my best to let everybody know. I do not have a date right now, though. It's still, there's a little bit of a time between there. Jason is awesome and says LDO can offer some items for giveaway. Talk to me later. That would be amazing, and I will absolutely. What is Jason? What's the best method to get a hold of you? What is your preferred platform? I know you're on Twitter, I think, fairly often. Should I just message you on Twitter, or is email better? Oh, DC's throwing in for giveaway as well. Wait, what? Hold on. What is it? I didn't see it. DC. I will throw in a spool. Oh, wow. Okay, so we're doing 2 Is it today, DC? You're doing a giveaway? Or are you throwing it in for the giveaway? Okay, sweet. I will probably message you on Twitter to get your email, Jason, because I don't think I have it, and I don't know that, unless it's something you post publicly, I can just message you on Twitter and then grab whatever is your email, but that sounds awesome. I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody watching does too. Okay, let's do this. Okay, Jason at LDO. Oh, that's a super easy email. Cool. I am going to... One second here. Let me just put it into a message so that way the second I'm done here, I remember to shoot you a message. Jason at LDOmotors.com. That is the easiest email to remember ever. Okay, sweet. I will message you then later on. Okay, so we are going to do a giveaway, which is super exciting. Can you give away however you just give away? Let's see, how many people are here right now? We got 26 people here. I am totally cool with doing... I think that... Hey, refresh your page, Blake, because on my end it says that there's 29 likes. I think that it might be that it hasn't updated the live count. It's because he's so nice. Yeah, let's do... Okay. DC, if you're cool with it, we'll do the giveaway today because, oops, for the giveaway on the 1,000 subs, we've got already at least 3 things lined up. So if you're cool with doing one today, or should we wait till next week? Let's do it today. Let's do it today. Next week, I feel like I'm going to be focused on, maybe we should do it next week. One this week and one next week. Will you be, DC, will you be here next week? If DC will be around next week, we're gonna do that one next week. Do it right now and for the EU. It costs so much in shipping. All right, we're gonna start off with G-Funny's giveaway, which is for a spool of Jesse PLA from Printed Solid. It's a random color. It's gonna be 175, I'm imagining, right, G-Funny? Because 3mm or 2.85 is like such a, I don't even know, I don't think they make it actually in 2.85. I'm not sure that Printed Solid ever did that. And then let me, really quick here, post. G-Funny made an awesome, I can't even think right now what I'm trying to say. Giveaway form, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Next week, more people will be here, I guess. I'll throw another one next week as well. Damn, you sure, G-Funny? I don't think it comes in 2.85 now I think about it. I should be, but you can do this giveaway even if I don't make it. Just let me know where to send it within US, or probably consider US and Canada. Okay, let's do, yeah, we'll do one giveaway today. And then I want to like kind of spread it out. I think that'll be more fun than, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay, so for today's, it is US only because again, shipping costs are just so high, and I apologize to everyone outside of the US. I know there's a lot of people in the stream that are. It will be on the giveaways will be on a case-by-case basis as far as where they are able to be shipped to, and a lot of it will depend on who's doing who's providing the giveaway, the size of the giveaway, and I think that's it. So to enter into the giveaway, all that you have to do is fill out this form, which is just a couple of questions. Jessie PLA is absolutely amazing. Also, this entire, let me see here. I don't have a really good way of showing this, which bums me out. There's a full video coming on this. Today's Wednesday, Saturday on the main channel, but this is 3 kilograms of Jessie filament, their PETG. It's the Soul Black, I believe it was what it's called, which is black with a bit of gray sparkle, and their Forest Green. And it has printed beautifully, and I've also been printing out some of their PLA. I've got quite a few spools of their filament. For being a manufacturer that's based out of the United States and that they're making it in the United States, it's insane. Like, the price, you can find cheaper filament, but I don't think you can find cheaper filament in the United States that's made in the United States that's this quality. For PLA and PTG, which is what I think those are the only 2 filaments they produce right now, but I've been incredibly happy with it, so it's definitely high quality filament. I'm going to buy myself a roll of PLA and pretend I want it, UK. There you go. Does anybody know that's not in the States? Does Printed Solid ship internationally if you pay for shipping, or are they strictly domestic? I don't know. Let me see if I can see the giveaways starting to populate. Okay, I see 6 people so far. Sem. Well, we can spin for you, Sem, just for fun, but it won't be included in the. If you win, I'll give you a round of applause. I will do that, but it won't be included for the shipping. I'm sorry. We'll do. What time is it? It's 1:55, so we'll do 5 more minutes, and then we'll spin the wheel. This is a way cool way, G-Funny, of doing it as far as the spreadsheet form thing. Thank you very much for doing this. This is so much better than last time. I will see if I can work out something for my European friends for next week, so I will talk with you. Okay, sweet. Yeah, any ideas that you guys have, let me know. DC, G-Funny, or really anybody. I mean, absolutely. I'd love to be as inclusive as possible as everybody. I know that there's a ton of people in here that are in Canada as well as Europe, and I don't know what shipping costs look like from here to Canada. I haven't done a whole lot of international shipping other than for the Patreon, which Patreon is, you know, it's a mail, like it's an envelope with a letter and a sticker in it, which is way different than shipping a package. So, all right, we're up to 13 responses. So we're giving away a spool of Jesse's filament, Jessie PLA. A random color. It could be a neutral color. It could be a spicy hot pink. It is, G-Funny, I almost think, don't say what color it is. I want the, like, whoever wins to just get it and have it be like a surprise box. I think that'll be fun. Unless you were planning on reaching out and saying, hey, these are the options, but I think that could be kind of cool since it's a giveaway, like a color, like even if it's not in the normal palette of what a person would print, it'd be fun to have. Like, I tend to get a lot of the same colors, and so I would be excited to get like kind of an off color. I'm like, I never would have considered getting this. But yeah, absolutely. DC, if you've got ideas, let me know. And G-Funny as well, because I am fine with, again, wanting to be inclusive, but just to give everyone an idea, like we engraved a small tile that weighed, I think, ½ of a pound, and I fit it in a small bubble mailer, and the absolute lowest price I could get it to Chicaro that won, and he's just like, he was in Mexico, so it's like right below where I'm at in California. The lowest price was $15 without tracking. And for tracking, I said, okay, well, what if I want to get tracking on this? Because I'd like to get tracking. $30 was the cheapest they had. So, and that was a very small tile. So I could only imagine if I brought a spool of filament that, you know, is 2.2 kilograms? Is that right? How much more expensive it would be to ship. So we've got to figure out something because it's just incredibly expensive for shipping. But I would like to have as many, again, people that can, and the nozzles won't be a problem. They're so small that I'll figure it out. I don't see those being an issue. It was USPS, not flat rate. It was USPS first class, which was less expensive than flat rate. It was the price was basically there's this one method for $15 and then it jumped to like $50 to $100. I'm like, what? How does anyone ship? I know that USPS I think is more ideal for domestic than international, if I'm not mistaken, and a lot of people use FedEx or UPS, but it was very complicated with FedEx or UPS, and part of it might be that I just don't do international shipping and I don't really know the ins and outs of what are required, but it was very complicated, more so than I had anticipated. So, the giveaway is just for the US this time. I don't know how to say your name, Sanska. Yeah, but the small flat rate international box is pretty expensive. I'm here for the content, don't knock yourself out for the inclusivity issue. Thank you, Malcolm, I appreciate it. I think most everyone is too. Like, I mean, this channel has never, the giveaways are a new thing, so I don't think anyone's here thinking like, they give away a ton of stuff on this channel. It's more of a just, it would be cool if everyone had an opportunity to get in on a giveaway like this. So, Sparta offers her spools sent to Germany for 17. Huh, that's not terrible for a spool. Okay, it's 2 o'clock, we said we were closing it. We'll do 1 more minute. If you're in the US, we're giving away a spool of Jesse's PLA. All you've got to do is click on the link, which is in the chat. I probably should have pinned it. If you scroll up a little bit, you will see it. Wow, let me post it 1 more time, actually. 1 second, 2 more minutes. I didn't realize, I should probably be pinning this. Okay, it won't even let me paste it. I didn't realize it scrolled up so far. We'll do one last second here. Okay. If I win, I get a special Discord role. That would be kind of cool if there was some sort of like badge or something, like giveaway winner, or I don't know, just something like that. Alien, did you enter in the giveaway? We're doing a giveaway for a spool of Jesse PLA. You're in the United States. Enter in. Does anybody remember, I don't know if you do G-Funny or DC, what the Spin the Wheel website was that we used last time? Somebody recommended it and I can't remember it. I should probably post it in the same, if anybody knows, please let me know. But last time we had a like spin, okay, sick. Spin the Wheel giveaway. Oh, Wheel of Names, I got it. Okay, sweet. So we are awesome. I'm gonna copy and paste this, and I mean it's not very difficult to forget that name, I suppose, but I'm gonna paste it with the form as well. Okay, we are closing the form. So if you are in, you are in, and then I need to figure out really quickly how to turn this into. Oh, that was so easy. Okay. I want to make sure everybody's information is hidden. Okay, sweet. Desktop. All right, everybody is on the board. We've got Sem, not in the USA, but in the EU. Yeah, you're right, I probably should just bookmark it. But there's so many other websites too like that I should, and I'm like, ah. Okay. It would have been funny if G-Funny put his name in here. It's like, well, I guess I'm keeping it. Okay, everybody. Wait, let's go. Yeah, this is fine. 3 and 2 and I know, I wish we had like a dramatic music. I might work on that. We'll figure it out. This is still new. We've at least got a spreadsheet, a form, and a wheel of spinning names. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Alien! Oh! Dude! Dude, congratulations, man. I wasn't sure if it was gonna roll over to you because it's only the second time I've seen it spin. No way. Congratulations, man. That's so funny. You were, that's so crazy. It was so close. I wasn't sure. It was between Alien and Jordan. Congratulations. It was like a nail biter. I mean, either way, but it was funny that I wasn't sure which way it was gonna go. Jordan was like this close, this close. Well, congratulations, Alien. Dude, it got my heart pumping too. I was just like, who's it gonna be? That was way more dramatic than the last week's giveaway. That was awesome. Okay, G-Funny, I know you both, yeah, okay, you already messaged. Alien, G-Funny says Discord, DM him on Discord and he'll grab your shipping information. Thank you very much, G-Funny, that was awesome of you, and thank you everybody that entered in. We will be doing, it sounds like another one next week. DC saying he will contribute one and G-Funny one more as well. So I might do it where we'll do DC next week and then G-Funny the next. That way we can have like a little spicy spin the wheel at the end of our build to sort of break things up and just have a little fun. But yeah, thank you very much, G-Funny, for your help with this and for being awesome and providing the spool for the giveaway. There goes my heart rate. Awesome. Well, I think this is a great note to end it on. I had a really good time. We got the Switchwire unboxed. I think that the next piece of the skirt is done printing, so I will get the next one going, and I will be scheduling by, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. In the next 2 hours, I'll have next week's stream scheduled. It'll be the same time, Wednesday at 12 p.m., and we will start the Switchwire build. We will be doing the frame, we'll be doing a giveaway, and it's going to be awesome. So I hope everybody has an amazing week. As always, I think that's it. Yeah, anybody that needs to get a hold of me, Discord, and G-Funny and DC, if you guys have creative juices and ideas going, let me know. Just ping me on Discord and I can hop in as well, on there. But yeah, I think we'll end it on that note. I had a really good time today, and I hope you guys did too. And hopefully I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week and a great night. Bye, everybody. You will not be able to reconnect. Stream ending. Bye.